us a story about the Eastern European Jewish experience.
Hello, everybody. I think last week I told you I was going to share with you my favorite story. Well, now I'm going to share with you another of my favorite stories. It's often hard to pick which one. I have said to Dennis that this social distancing will have to end at some point because I will also run out of stories. So there will be a limit. So I chose this story because this weekend is the time between two sacred events that we mark within Judaism. So this past week we marked the remembrance of the Holocaust, and this coming week we will mark Yom HaAtzmaut, the independence of the state of Israel. And this story actually spans both of those periods of time. So it actually begins in 1808. There was a butcher in Teplik who was known as an excellent carpenter, and he admired Reb Nachman of Bratslav, and he decided to make an exquisite chair for Reb Nachman. And he did, and the rabbi sat on it through all the days of his life and led the people in his community. When Rabbi Nachman died, his disciples kept the chair and honored it in his memory. But when the Nazis came to power, it was clear that they could not stay together. And what were they going to do with that chair? Could they simply leave it there to be destroyed? That did not seem possible. So they came together and made a decision. They would cut the chair into pieces, and they would give a piece to each of the disciples, and they would make a promise that they would, after the war, come together in Jerusalem and reassemble that chair. Well, as you all know, this was a very dangerous time, and very few people who tried to escape were successful. But lo and behold, everyone who held a piece of Rabbi Nachman's chair made it to Jerusalem, and there the chair was reassembled, and it sits there to this day in Jerusalem in the Bratslaver synagogue. Now, what is amazing about this story is that it's not just a story, it's true. You can go to Jerusalem, you can find that synagogue, and you can see Rabbi Nachman's chair. And if you don't believe me, just go on Google and put in Reb Nachman's chair, and there you will see this magnificent piece of craftsmanship. But it is not only true, it also contains a deeper truth. As each disciple carried a piece of the chair, so each of us carries a piece of the puzzle of life's meaning. But, you know, it is possible to doubt that. Certainly during the Holocaust, the disciples of Reb Nachman must have believed that the small piece of chair they carried was just a piece of scrap wood, and by itself, it was good for nothing. And when you believe that the piece you are carrying is worthless, remember that one piece of scrap wood joined to another becomes a sacred throne. So as we are each in our own homes, let us remember we each have a sacred piece of life's meaning, and we will gather together again and reassemble that sacred chair and celebrate our being together. The story of Reb Nachman's chair.
So as we anticipate Yom HaAtzmaut, and we look forward to a Jerusalem at peace, let us join with the cantor in the words of Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, Jerusalem of gold, a song by Naomi Shemer that became an anthem of the people of Israel, an anthem of peace following the 6-day war.
Almost Shavua Tov, everybody. So if you're on our website, bed613.org, and you go to our virtual resources on the Shabbat page, you'll see that there's a Havdalah section. So if you're not already there, you can find the song sheet for tonight, which will have the words for Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, and then it will have the blessings that will follow for Havdalah, and then for counting the Omer. So if you want to open up in another window or on another device, otherwise feel free to just follow along with us and enjoy the music. But it's there for your reference, and we'll have one up for every week. Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. So now we'll join in the brachot for Havdalah.
Let us light our Havdalah candles if you have not yet done so. If you have.
Oh, one more time, we're going to start over.
Shavua Tov, everybody. And as we move into the new week, we take note of the period of the Omer and we count the day of the Omer which we enter.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. היום 17 יום שהם שני שבועות ו3 ימים לעומר.
Today is 17 days, which is 1 week and 3 days of the 2 weeks and 3 days of the Omer.
Sorry, my fault.
Shavua Tov, everybody. Any questions about the ceremony? We've been doing it for several weeks. Might be new for some of you. Any little elements that you would like to ask a question about? We cup our hands against the light of the Havdalah candle to symbolize the distinction between light and darkness, as the light casts a shadow between our fingers and the palm of our hands. And that is the symbolism of the light. Yes, I saw somebody. Janice? Jenny, Rabbi Jenny, you're going to make a comment before we depart. Yeah. Where are you? There you are.
She's there.
Okay, so we're ready. Unless anybody has a question.
No, I had to wait for Jackie to be able to unmute me. But if there's a question. Okay. So I think my parting thought this week is actually similar to one I had this morning for Torah Talk. It said that, so we are now in the Hebrew month of Iyar, the month that is all encompassed by the Omer, going from Passover to Shavuot, from a liberation to redemption, but it is also the Chabadnikim, the founders of the Chabad movement, say that ER is an acronym. Aleph Yud Resh stands for Ani Adonai Re'echa, I, God, am your healer. And so as we jump into ER, which was already one of my favorite months because it has my birthday, it is also, and may it be indeed that month of healing where God brings us all healing and strength and love from one another. And may we begin that strong this week. We've already been doing it, but may we find a new strength in the new month for it this week. So Shavua Tov, a week of love and strength and of healing. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. Little Sarah Violet, I think there has the award for the most Havdalahs participated in this year. Where is Jonathan? Here he is.
Yeah, he's around the corner here, not wanting to cooperate as a typical 3-year-old.
Oh, that's great. Shavua Tov to everybody.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Cantor Melissa, thank you for participating in the Carmel Holocaust event.
And thank you, Jackie, for keeping us together.
Hamilton.
Hi.
Bye.
Bato.
Shavua Tov. Hey, Hamilton.
Hi, Hamilton says Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov.
Hey, I see where you got it from, Cantor.
There's competition.
Right. Okay.
Nice
to see
for me.
Have a good week, all.
you during the week and our many programs and opportunities. Stay
Thank
tuned.
you, Rabbi.
Thank you,
Ed,
Rabbi.
Mr. President.
Stay well.
And thank you all. Jackie, thanks.
Thanks. Have a good